Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, where we're here to nourish our souls. I'm Norah, the host of this program, Thoughts by Joanna Angelis through Divaldo Franco, and this is the beautiful book, friends. It's worth looking for the book, and so many ways to read this book. Today's message is simple reminder, but sometimes it can be hard in the practice. So this is super amazing for us to have opportunities to have reminders from our dear Joanna. It says attentive listening is a social and humanitarian duty, since every person has something to say rather than just the obligation to listen. This is super incredible because she's put for us here two types of listening, the listening and the attentive listening. And there are two very different things. In this book by Thich Nhat Hanh, Silence, the Power of Quiet in a World Full of Noise. Page 22, he has this very interesting thought for us to contemplate on, where it says silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for us. Bringing this perspective, friends, really invites us to kind of think about listening. In order for us to be in that attentive listening mode that Joanna is suggesting for us, right? We have to practice silence. We have to put ourselves in situations where we are comfortable first with silence, right? How many times perhaps we fear we are by ourselves, right? I can't, and I've been in that place. I remember uh, one of one of the most difficult breakups, and I remember closing the door behind me. I was by myself, and there was absolutely no noise. And I think that was really the first time I realized there was such thing as silence, and it was a process. But that is just the beginning to then when we are actually in a place of conversation or in a place of just interacting with nature, where we can then focus on attentively listening, being in that mindset. And it's amazing how much we can learn, whether it be from another person to even just our surroundings around nature, taking that time, practicing, 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 having that discipline. And it actually it fulfills our roles, right? As whatever situations we are in. For instance, I bring in the teaching. I realized as my years of teaching have progressed that the attentive listening has increased. And this idea of a classroom where the teacher talks and talks and talks and talks, it has a very different type of environment versus me attentively listen, monitoring, walking around, and learning from that to then be mindful of what I said. So I said, practicing this in our relationships is beautiful. In the book Our Daily Bread, chapter 170, it ends with this question for us, where we're going to end. Because if we do attentive listening, chances are that when we talk, it also has a different range, right? The question here is, and when the night falls at the end of each day, it is fitting to ask oneself, have I used my tongue today as Jesus used his? That question is a rhetorical for us to think about, whether it is a space of silence or when we are doing attentive listening, when we respond, when we are in that mindset of Jesus. The frequency will be aligned to that. And that is what Joanna is reminding us. It's a beautiful, positive lesson for us to keep in mind, right, dear friends? And thank you so much for tuning into other programs here at Kardec Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls. Let us not forget to tune into others, and we will be here next week, same place and same time. God bless you, friends. Stay safe, and we are loved.